Okay, there's the audio. Okay. There's the video. Okay. It's time for Qigong Online because it's wet outside with a chance of rain. So, good morning, Miles. Joined today with Iota. I'm Jordan. We're going to do Qigong. Gonna do the warm-ups. Start with the warm-ups, waist rotations, feet together, tongue touching lightly on the palate, letting the warm-ups be their own meditation. Don't have to wait until doing the form to bring that quality of meditation to the practice. Making circles with the waist, and this is an orbit around the dimeridian. Gesundheit. The dimeridian is important for today's movements. Earlier in the week we covered 4, 5, 6, 7. Push and set the wings, flip the hugu. Push and set the wings, flip the hugu. And as we're doing that, uh, the dime meridian gets a lot of attention. Massaging up and down on the back, massaging back and forth on the back. And then waist rotations in the other direction. So if you look at a chart, the dime meridian isn't exactly a perfect plane of points at waist high, at belly button high. It has a little bit of an up and down to it as it goes around, but as we do this for the sake of giving everything an equal amount of stretch and expansion, you can imagine an equal plane that we're going equal amount each direction in. Forward, side, back, side, and then palm over palm into the chest. Massage. And then switch the direction, or switch the hand which is on the top and switch direction. And then we'll bring the feet parallel, shoulder wide, and fingers or palms into Huan Tiao. And then we do hip rotation. So the plane that we're rotating around is lower than the previous one with the waist rotations. We were focused up here on the belly button. This one we're focused down here around the height of the hip joint. Bring the same idea of meditation to the movement, tongue touching lightly, and the same idea that the rotation is happening the same amount in each direction, forward, left, back, right, and can play with the size of the circle to see how that affects how uniform it is. Then massaging Huan Tiao, massaging lower back, and hip rotations in the other direction. And even as early as the hip rotations and waist rotations can play with planting the feet in the ground, so letting the toes be spread and letting as much of the foot sink into the floor as possible. Experiencing how the weight distribution shifts as the hips move around. And then massaging. Oh no, we already did the chest, so massaging lower dantian now. Yay, Gail made it. And I assume she's got Andy in tow. But we won't know until some jokes get cracked. Then feet back together And palms on the knees, resting lightly, eyes out on the floor in front of us for knee rotations. First set of them, keeping the um, heels connected to the floor. It's these the evenness and the plane that I orbit around feels more like a sphere because it's hard to imagine a plane at an angle like that, or I guess I can imagine it, but it's less fun than imagining a sphere that I'm tracing around. And the sphere also gives more room for variations. Then massaging down on the inside of the knees and up on the outside of the knees, massaging the kneecaps. Then knee rotations the other direction again, letting the heels stay connected to the floor, can engage the abs, so it's a bit of a crunch. And then massaging down on the outside of the kneecaps and up on the inside of the kneecaps. And then we do knee rotations, letting the heels come up off the floor. Back and neck are straight, bi-waist stays connected up to the sky. Bubbling spring point and all the toes are well connected to the ground. The heels don't have to come up very far off the ground. Then massaging down the legs, being sure to get all the way down to the ankles from haunch out. If you need to, you can bend the legs. Or another way, another alternative is just letting the hands brush as far down as possible, but letting the mind's eye connect down into the ankles as you're brushing. Then knee rotations the other direction. Again, letting the heels come up off the floor. I find it easier when the heels come up off the floor. It's easier for me. When I have to keep my heels on the floor, that one requires extra effort and concentration. And then massage up the inside of the legs. Feet back together, arm rotation. So interlace the fingers, push down the front of the body. Arms come up to upper dantian, middle dantian, lower dantian, making a circle that is halfway inside our body and halfway outside our body. So as we push up outside, bring it in, push down inside. Part of it's a visible circle and part of it is a circle in our mind's eye and our concentration. And then pushing up, breathing into the stretch, expanding through the front of the body. Back to center, pushing up again. And the feet are connecting down to the ground, pushing down into the ground just as much as we're pushing up into the sky with the hands. Center, up again. Center, and then we'll go up to the right, letting the left side of the body expand. Center, up to the left. Up to the right, letting the left expand. Center, and then right again. Center and left. And the right side of the body expand. Center and right. Left to the left. Right side of the body expands. I know all about left and right. I've used both of those sides. A little more. And then we'll fold over, folding up the hip joint, and circles down towards the floor, keeping the back straight, by hip points forward, pushing down from upper dantian in front of us, and then outside the right little toe, outside the left little toe, and then just hang the elbows crossed and grab the ankles and massage down the legs, and then pat down the legs. Making sure to get the hip joints, knee joints, ankle joints. We'll do a round of kicks, so protecting the back and maintaining stability through lower dantian, middle dantian, and upper dantian with each kick. Letting the heel come out down the back of the leg, kicking for this first round, and the kick is a snap, and then bring the foot down to the floor is quiet. It's an arc down, gently bring the foot down. Snap, quiet. Yang, yin. And then kicking down the toes, down the top of the leg. Snap, quiet. And then we get to do chin to toe. So, right leg out at an angle, extended, cross the arms, fold from the hua, the hip joint, and circle down the top of the leg, up the toes, back towards yourself. Checking that the tongue is touching lightly, back is straight, neck is straight, chin and toe are aligned to each other, eyes are looking beyond the foot into the floor. And then reaching with 10 fingers, 5 on each hand, fingers and eyes both reaching into the floor, beyond the surface of the floor. Then massage. You can bend your leg to get down to the ankle with this massage. Bend your knee and pat down the leg. And then mind the back on the way up, so come up, protecting the back, and walk it off a little bit. Experience the feeling that one leg is now looser than the other leg. Time for the left side. Line the torso, grab elbows, fold from the hua, and circle down front of the leg up the toe back towards yourself. Checking the chin and toe alignment, tongue touching lightly, eyes into floor. Breath comes naturally. But don't forget to breathe. And then reaching with 10 fingers. Then massage. And then pat down the leg. And then catching the back on the way up and walk it off a little bit. Maybe the legs feel even now, evenly stretched out. Back to the right side. Round 2. chin to toe. 6 fingers, 3 on each hand, full at the hua. Grasping the toe. I didn't do 2 fingers, I went straight to grasping the toe so you can get 2 fingers in, or maybe you're switching to grasping the toe right now. Then massage. And pat down the leg. And you can bend the knee to be sure that you get all the joints in there. We have enough opportunities to stretch out the legs, but not as many opportunities to get tension on the joints. So, and give the joints the attention they deserve. Let's move. Left side, line the torso. 6 fingers, 3 on each hand, pull at the hua. Extend the arms. Chin to toe. 2 fingers, 1 on each hand. Grasping the toe. Can do it with one hand, can do it with both hands. Can do it with no hands and just have your fingers pointed at the toe. And then massage. Again, you can bend the leg to be sure you get all the way down to the ankle. Massaging the ankle. And then patting down the leg. Same thing. Bring the hip joint, knee joint, down to the ankle joint. Minding the back on the way up. Walk it off. And round 2 of kicks. So protecting the back again, maintaining the stability all the way down through the foot, through lower, middle, upper, stacked, and stable with the heel kicks. Letting the kick be a snap. And then kicking with the toe down the top of the leg. And then we do the pretzel maneuver. Right hand comes up over the left shoulder. Left hand comes in front of the face, and we look to the right, aligning the palms to the ears. Logong aligned with the ears. Relax. Other side. Left hand over right shoulder. Right hand in front of the face. Look to the left. Relax. Once again, the right hand comes over the left shoulder. Left hand in front of the face. Look right. Relax. And left hand over the right shoulder. Right hand in front of the face. Look to the left. Lining the palms to the ears. Relax. And then we pat on the corner of the shoulder and under the armpit, alternating which shoulder is getting patted with each swing of the arms. And when we're connecting under the arm, it's kind of hard to get directly into the heart one point in the middle of the armpit, but you do want to aim to at least have the palm facing towards it and getting up towards the armpit versus just hitting on the ribs on the side of the body. Okay. Then we gotta do the arms, the windmills. So bending the left leg, letting the right shoulder hang loose, and come up the front, down the back. Once we get going, gravity is doing the job on the way down, and momentum is doing the job on the way up. Then we switch it so that it's coming up the back and down the front. Then we pivot on the left heel, pivot on the right heel, and come up the front, down the back with the left arm. And then up the back, down the front with the left arm. Another set of pats, this time coming up across the top of the shoulder and across the back. Letting the arms hang loose and letting the slight twist in the torso give the arms momentum to land where they need to be. Pivoting on the right heel, pivoting on the left heel, continuing that slapping massage. And feet back together, massaging the shu kidney points UB23 in circles. And then the dabao on the ribs, lower lymph nodes, and chest. A little bit different than earlier in the warm-up where we massaged in the middle of the chest. This time we're massaging slightly off center to get the collarbone in there. Other side. Shoulder. Patting. Other shoulder. Patting. Massaging from the fingertips, past the wrist, past the elbow, past the shoulder. Being sure to get the thumb in each brushing of the arm. Arm can come across the front of the body to make that a little bit easier so you're not trying to get out over there. And across the arm makes it easier. Coming down from the shoulder, past the elbow, past the wrist, past the fingers. Get that circulation going. And same thing on the left side. Flip it over. Slash it down. Shaking out the hands, letting them be loose, and then shaking out the arms and letting them be loose in the shoulders. And then we'll do the eye-hand coordination, connecting fingertips, brushing past the webbings, and then past the wrist. And with each one of these brushes, letting the fingers connect individually, one by one, past the webbings one by one, past the wrist one by one. The fingers are each on their own individual mission. Other side. Right hand brushing over the left fingers, left webbings, left wrist. And it might seem silly to try and connect the fingers one by one after another and maintain that through the webbing and past the wrist, but that kind of distributed focus of attention can be brought to the entire form. As we're doing the form, there's certain points that get called out as alignment checks, but really the whole body is working in harmony for all the movements. So that distributed attention and practicing it goes a long way to enjoying the form. Massaging the palm, gong, warming up the hand, massaging that warmth out to the ends of each finger. Massaging the left hand. Out to the ends of each finger. And then today for the movement of the day, we want to give special attention to hugu. So it's the meaty bit in between the thumb and the pointer finger. Let that get a good massage. Going to be using that in the pushing and setting the wings. And then when we flip hugu around, this is the point that's connected to the dimeridian, dragging through the dimeridian. So give that some extra warm up today. Extra attention. Then massaging the neck. Massaging the other side of the neck. Massaging the front of the neck. Beauty move. And using the other hand on the neck. And the opposite hand is catching any of the good chi that might be getting brushed out. Yes, everybody's favorite. And then massaging Taiyan, temples in between the corner of the eyes and the tops of the ears. Massaging the corners of the eyes. Massaging the corner of the nose. Massaging the lips. Massaging the other lips. Massaging the ears. And then drums of heaven, putting the palms over the ears and drumming with just the fingers. And we'll wash face. Oh, we should brush over the ears too. So forming a V like we did with the lips and brushing up past the ears. Then we can wash face comb hair. Going up over the top of the head, around the back, and getting rid of any stale, stagnant chi. And then completing our astronaut chi helmet, forming a sphere around our head, protective chi bubble. One leg stand, letting the weight come fully into the left leg, spreading the toes, letting the bubbling spring point sink into the ground, heel sink into the ground, and then letting that stability come up through the ankle, knee, hips, to lower dantian, middle dantian, upper dantian, everything feels stable, and then the right foot can float off the floor. If you aren't feeling super stable, you can just brush around on the floor with the foot, letting it be light. You can bring the foot off the ground and tap the heel and the toe on the ground. Wiggle the ankle, can lift the leg if you're feeling it, or if you want to be close to a wall or a chair or something in case balance decides it's had enough with you and wants to go on its own adventure. Bring the leg down, and as the leg comes down, again, gently brushing the floor, feeling the floor, letting the weight transfer. Stability up through the ankle, knee, hip, and then the left leg can come up off the ground. Wiggle the ankle, can brush the floor, can do the heel and toe on the floor, can lift the leg, can do whatever variation you're feeling up to or want to play with, or maybe there's even more variations to be invented yet. Bring the leg down, transfer weight, right leg comes up, and if you're feeling it, can come down. Extra crunch, one leg crunch, one leg crunch. Leg comes down, transfer weight, left leg up. And then we will extend through the inside of the right leg, right arm pointing out. The left leg is bent. Left hand can support yourself. Can come down and rest on the ground like that. Can form a claw. But the main focus is on the extension through the right leg and having the right arm out. And switching sides, bending the right leg so that the left leg can be extended, left arm extended. Center, and then massage up the insides of the legs. Walking the feet back together, and then we'll do walking kicks. Walking with the heel kicking. And these ones, the leg swings back the body before coming down, but it's still coming down to the floor gently with each kick. And kicking with the toes down the top of the leg. And then Achilles tendon, bringing the top of the foot across the back of the heel. And walking meditation. Walking meditation has infinite variations. So many ways to walk. This particular one focusing on flecting into lower dantian. Okay. Well, I guess we keep walking. No, we can stop walking. Can do a single bow. Made it through warm-ups. Time for some movement details. Wow, did we really do warm-ups for 35 minutes? I guess warm-ups are very important. Very important to get warmed up. Okay, movement details. We've got movements 4 to 7 again. We did this on Wednesday, but we're going to do it again today. Push and set the wings is number 4. Flipping hugu, number 5. And then we do the same thing again for 6 and 7. So I'll demonstrate it once, and then I'll have Iota demonstrate it, and then we'll look at details all the way through that. So at the start of last week, we're at movement number 3. We had opened up to the sky, and we're back down on our heels. The feet are planted firmly on the floor. I'll do it facing this direction because normally I'm facing that direction, so different viewpoint. And the hands, when they come down, they're not actually touching the body here. They're a little bit away from the body. And to begin pushing the wings, we let the wrists drop so that the fingers are pointing down at the floor. And then we bring the palms up to chest high. And we don't want the shoulders to come up and scrunch, so however high the forearms get without scrunching the folder, let that be enough. And then drop the elbows so that the hands can face each other at middle dantian height, chest height. And then the actual pushing, the fingers lead the way out. There's a connection between the hands, and the gaze switches from looking out at the horizon and being soft to bring the focus in. Gaze is between the hands. Hands have connection as they come out, fingers leading the way, and then at the edge of the extension, once the elbows can't open up anymore and we're at the very edge of the extension, can fold very slightly at the hua, not rounding the back, not rounding the shoulders, but just a slight bend forward at the hua, the hip joint, turning the whole arm over, engaging through the elbow, through the shoulder, to turn the whole arm over. And then we set the wings, so the wings come back, forming a claws, they cross the body, and land on those shu kidney points, UB23. Then you let the claw come open, and hugu is touching the body. Hugu is connected, and it drags around the dimeridian, and you expel. And then 6 and 7 is the same thing again. One comment on where the heels come up for expelling. It can happen as early as you're reaching out towards the end of your extension. You can let the heels come up off the ground a little bit here. Or as you're swimming back, you can let the heels come up as you're swimming back. Or if you get to this point and your heels are still on the ground, you can just do a little jump as you brush out. And the idea with that is that as you come down on the ground, since the whole body is relaxed, it gives your whole body a shake, and it's invigorating, and it gets rid of stale, stagnant chi when you shake it like that. It's like shaking your whole core, shaking everything. So that's 4, 5, and 6, 7. Do you want to demonstrate it, and I'll see if there's any other insights that come to me as I watch you? Okay.
This way?
Yeah, you can do it that way. So we started with the, we had just opened to the sky, we came back in, and then the fingers drop, and the palms come up to chest high, hands are facing each other and reaching out. Then the whole arm turns over and setting the wings, and up off the ground and expel. Yep. And then to transition to the second set, we just bring the hands direct arc back to the chest. So we be sure to acknowledge that the hands are connected to middle dantian. Then they face each other, and then we do it again. Setting back. And yep. Um, one thing is we at the end of the expulsion the hands are parallel to the ground. So when we do this, the hands aren't pointing up or pointing down, they're parallel with the ground. And wrist is straight and fingers are straight and relaxed. And one thing we didn't cover off on, thank you, that looked great. The the claw that we're forming is a loose claw, so it's just connecting the thumb and the middle finger, wrapping the rest of the fingers around it. So it's a loose claw, there's space in between the claw. The fingers are not even. It's not a claw that's meant for poking and pecking. It's a claw that's meant for gathering chi, moving chi around. Chi claw. Trying to think if there's anything else to address with these. Um, the arc that we follow when we're reaching, when we're setting the wings, this arc, you don't have to try and keep your arms up the whole time and then connect. It can, just like as we come in from opening to the sky and we just find the most natural arc from being open to bringing into lower dantian, can find the most natural arc where you're using effortless effort, as little energy as possible to keep the arms up and just let them gradually fall down, form the claw, and bring it into those shu kidney points. Open it up, and then drag around the waist, the dimeridian. And the place where the flip happens is at that midline of the body. So once your hugu is past the midline there, then your fingers are the last thing to touch before you come down and shake it out. Okay. I think that's enough details. We can do the form. Do you have any questions or thoughts or anything?
No.
Okay. All right, form a clock. Let's do 3 bows to transition from um, the busy talking of looking at set details, so we can bow to acknowledge the presence of each other, thank each other for doing the form and practicing, thank our teachers for keeping the form alive through all the generations, and bow to Mother Nature, the world, and the universe for cradling us, goofy geese. Okay, form time. Find some space. If you need any additional warm-ups, if you have a favorite warm-up that you didn't get to do, you can do it now as we find our spots for the form, and you want enough wingspan. You want some wingspan to be able to do the form. I think you might be too far back there. Are you good? Okay. We've got our spots. Okay, begin finding a perfectly balanced place, and balance is not a single set and forget, but something to orbit around. Feet sinking into the ground, toes spread. Forward, back, left, right. Sun touching lightly, byway open to the sky. Soft gaze. Breath coming naturally. And begin. Scooping through the ground, opening to the sky. Into lower dantian. This week's movements: push the wings, set the wings. Flip hugu. And then 6 and 7, pushing again, setting again, flipping again. Back to the chest, up over the head, interlace fingers, looking up, pushing down outside the left little toe, outside the right little toe. Rocking forward, rocking back, claw above clavicle, macrocosmic orbit. Yeah. Focusing on middle dantian on the way up, dropping the right hand in washing machine. Wave hands like clouds. This again is at waist high. Daimai high. Waist meridian high. 3. On number 4, you get to rinse the waist. With and back. Raise single wing. Leaning forward. Bring the arm over and back. Restore. Drag moon from water. Pivot left heel, pivot right heel. Take a step forward. And then we look at the moon. Pushing down on the left foot. And then pushing down on the right foot. And on the bottom of the third one, we begin to flutter. The first time we're fluttering in the form, and we flutter up to the sides and then back, leaning forward, looking out over the water. And then we splash our wings in the water. Splash. 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 Then we drink the water. Yum. 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 On the third one, as we flutter up, the right foot comes in line with the left foot, and we flutter to the side, flutter down, and land the hands on lower dantian and digest the water. 2. One more digesting. 3. And then we grasp chi. And loose fist, leaving room for the chi, not squeezing all the chi out before bringing the fist back to ourselves. Eight, 9, 10. Palm up, grasp chi. 8, 9, 10. And curl the fingers, spiral up. And we bring that big ball of chi over to the left side, right hand on top of left, for massaging the ball of chi, looking down in between the hands, massaging in towards lower dantian. Flipping the ball over, massaging back, left, massaging forward, holding at lower dantian, absorbing. Okay. Palms to upper dantian, face, neck, chest, pausing at lower dantian for a moment. Okay. Let's go. Fingers up, fingers forward, fingers into loose claws. And on the back, open up the claws and shake. 1, 2, 3. If you need to make space for 7 steps, you can do that. And shake again. Then rest for 3 seconds and then shake again. And rest for 3 seconds. And then launch into the 7 steps. First, we're soaring. Letting the currents of the wind guide our arms, cutting through the viscous atmosphere. 5, 6, 7. Fluttering at lower dantian, pivoting on the left heel, pivoting on the right heel. Fluttering up, fluttering to the sides, fluttering forward, taking a step, fluttering down to the knees and up on the left. And then fluttering down to lower dantian, pivoting on left heel, pivoting on right heel, fluttering up to the sides, forward, and searching for food. Yum. Six, 7. And go to the knees to lower dantian, pivot left heel, pivot right heel. And we'll build the nest. So taking a step, looking to the left, push down. Taking a step, looking forward, push down. Step in, looking right, push down. Step and stay right, push down. Step forward. Step left. Step forward for number 7. Pushing all the way down. Pivoting on the left heel. Bring the right heel in line with it. Fluttering again. The upper dantian, past the face, past the chest, and the fluttering subsides. Land the hands on either side of lower dantian and sleep. Letting everything go where it needs to go after we've opened up all our meridians and points and channels and generated so much chi and moved it around, and just let it all settle where it needs to go. Okay, down on the heels, rising up, close. And walking meditation. Okay, thanks for practicing. Another bow to all of existence. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you learned something new with the movements that we covered today. reach out with any questions, thoughts, ideas, whether that's via text or phone or email or snail mail or I don't know what other ways there are to communicate, but there's probably more. That's it. Enjoy Qigong every day in every way. Thanks for practicing. Bye.